Hi, and welcome to Tech Talk. I'm Ken Mingus, Executive Editor at Computer World. I'm here today with Managing Editor for Features, Val Potter. Today's big
Hi.
topic, best places to work in IT. It's our 26th year. We're going to get all the lowdown. Stick around. Okay, Val, thanks for being here. Did I get that title
Thanks for
right?
having
It
me.
is Managing Editor for Features, right?
That's correct.
Most importantly, you and a few others really oversee this project, which is, it takes months to prepare this data and come up with our big list of 100 best places to work in IT. So maybe the first thing I should do is ask you to just sort of explain how we come up with the list, the kinds of things we're looking for.
Sure. So all kinds of companies participate, and it's not even just companies, but universities, nonprofits, hospitals, research facilities, et cetera. Any organization is welcome to join, and we have companies of all sizes in all industries participating. So they fill out an extensive survey asking about salaries, benefits, training programs, career development opportunities, and other factors that make them standout places to work for IT pros. And then once the company survey is completed, IT employees from those companies fill out a separate survey asking about their satisfaction with those benefits and programs, as well as with their IT department as a whole. And the responses from both surveys are combined to come up with the final list of 100 best places to work in IT.
Isn't the point of doing this sort of two survey way of doing this is, of course, a company could say, we're great, here's what we do, here are the benefits we offer, and really tout themselves. But when it comes down to it, you need to hear from the employees themselves. Are they getting these benefits, and are these the benefits that they really want, and that's what attracted them to the companies, right?
That's exactly right, and it goes beyond benefits too. You could offer the best benefits in the world, but if it's not a positive work environment, if it's not someplace people want to come work, then you don't deserve to be on our list. So that's why we weight the employee responses about the same weight as the company responses when we tally those results.
Got it. Okay. And obviously, when it comes to benefits, we're talking about, I mean, obviously compensation plays into this, but we're looking beyond that to sort of almost a holistic view of how a company treats its employees, its IT employees in particular. And so what kinds of things rise to the top in terms of what the employees say matter to them most?
Well, all kinds of things, but there's basically five basic buckets. One is to offer competitive pay and top benefits, create a positive workplace, invest in employees' development, give them a voice, and let them know they're appreciated. So, let's break these down. Compensation, it's obvious but important. Talented IT pros expect to be paid fairly for the work they do. They're not expecting astronomical pay, and it's far from the only factor. But nevertheless, if you're not going to compensate them fairly, you're not going to get the best IT talent.
Understood. And what else? So what are the kinds of benefits beyond compensation? And I would assume compensation is obviously going to vary depending on where a company is located. I mean, an IT worker at a company in San Francisco is going to be paid a lot differently than someone in North Carolina or the middle part of the country.
That's correct. And also the type of organization it is makes a difference too. Private sector tends to pay better than government jobs, for instance. Yeah, and so in terms of baseline benefits, any company competing for talent needs to offer just the basics: paid time off, health insurance, a 401k or 403b plan, flexible hours, the opportunity to telecommute. Those are all just sort of the baseline benefits. But above and beyond that, best places companies offer everything from employee wellness programs, college tuition reimbursement. For instance, Vanguard provides up to $9,000 per year in tuition reimbursement, as well as a program to help pay off employees' student loans. And that's very important for younger employees who are just out of college, who are struggling to pay off their student debt. And the average tuition reimbursement offered to IT employees across the 100 Best Places organizations is nearly $7,000 per year. I don't think that's the norm across most companies. These are really the standout companies, and so you can tell they're really looking to get those young new workers in and help them in their outside life so that they can come to work focused.
Well, sure, especially if something like being able to help an employee pay off student loans, given the student loan crisis in the country right now, I can see how that would be a huge selling point for a company. It's interesting too how some of these things change over the years. Some of the information that we've dug up is that 98% of the best places, companies on our list or organizations on our list, offer a non-discrimination policy regarding sexual orientation. 86% offer benefits to domestic partners and same-sex partners, and it seems like parental leave is becoming more and more of a selling point for these companies.
That's correct. Anything that has to do with work-life balance is really on the rise as employees value those types of benefits more and more. And it's just part of the zeitgeist today. Everyone Americans are looking around and saying, well, gee, in Europe, they get so much time off when they have children. And why don't we get that? And so U.S. law is not very good on this. There's a certain amount of maternal leave that's granted, but it's unpaid. There is no federal law that requires paid family leave for new mothers or fathers. And according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, only about 15% of U.S. workers are offered paid family leave by their employers. That includes fully paid or partially paid. So the best places organizations are way out in front here. 84% offer at least 1 week of fully paid maternity leave. 79% offer a week or more of paternity leave at full pay. And some of them go way beyond that. Among the standouts, VMware, for instance, offers both new mothers and new fathers 18 weeks of fully paid family leave.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, compared to what's going on across the country, that's way out there. They're way out at front. So kudos to VMware. It's interesting. One of the sort of, I guess, soft benefits that comes up repeatedly is this idea of a positive workplace, and how do you get employees to be not only engaged in their work, but engaged with each other, engaged with the company culture. And there are things that we have uncovered: workplace perks like walking and biking paths, on-site health clinics, free parking, standing desk, game rooms, the kinds of things you kind of think of. And it's interesting, again, that's the sort of thing where I'm not sure mainstream companies get, but companies that are looking to attract top-level IT workers, they have to pay attention to things like that.
That's correct. But it really goes beyond that. I mean, of course, nobody's going to say no to a catered lunch. They love that.
Or a game room. Yeah,
right. Exactly. But really, when we talk to these IT pros, they place a far higher value on the culture of the IT department and the organization as a whole. In fact, this year we dedicated the cover story of our special report to the idea of teamwork, because that was what the IT employees we spoke to praised the most about their organizations. For instance, Ultimate Software made a decision back in the early 2000s to get all its work done via Teams, this is what its CTO, Adam Rogers, told us. And when hiring, the company specifically looks for people who can work collaboratively. So, that's the one thing that the employees there kept saying over and over. This, we do everything as a team. We love working on teams. And as you keep hiring people who value that, it just continues. That's just a snowball effect. Gets better and better. At Align Technologies, which is another organization on our list, every employee is part of a cross-functional team of 8 to 10 people representing each of the various technologies involved in whichever product or service they're working on. Everyone sees the same data, drives towards the same goals, and shares what they've learned with other teams across the globe. And employees just say it's supporting their team that keeps them engaged and performing their best.
And it's also interesting, another little tidbit that we dug up is that 3/4 of the companies on our list this year have employee affinity groups, things like Illumina's reading group, volleyball team, and a women in IT group. I mean, again, it's a sort of thing that may not be specifically directly related to the job at hand, but it's the kind of thing, especially if you're looking for, esprit de corps and looking for teamwork, that's going to keep people working together and getting to know each other in ways that ideally, I think the companies would assume will help their performance, on the job.
That's correct. And a lot of organizations, either formally or informally, will do other things outside of work to develop that sort of esprit de corps. So take everybody out for lunch, go watch the latest Star Wars movie or Avengers movie, have a day where everybody gets to go volunteer at a local charity together. And that really helps build that teamwork in a way that's a little bit different than on-the-job teamwork.
Right.
But it all feeds back into that because everyone's more comfortable with each other and more they like each other and they just want to help each other out.
It's interesting how much the soft skills are coming into play now. You know, that's one of the things about IT workers that I've seen in the past that companies look for are soft skills, and that's that ability to collaborate and be flexible in terms of the kinds of jobs that you're doing and who you're working with and the teams that you're working with. We should move on. You know, employee development is obviously a big deal. Skills training and career development. And it seems like a lot of these companies, again, are sort of out in front in some of these areas. So what did we find there?
That's absolutely correct. Best Places offer an average of 9 training days per year for their IT employees, and several organizations on our list have no set maximum for the number of training days that their employees can do. And a lot of them offer in-house training. Accelerate, for instance, that's actually part of their core business strategy. It's an automation startup, and there aren't a whole lot of people out there today, you know, even seasoned IT veterans who know a lot about automation because it's a developing area of IT. So all new IT hires, whether they're fresh out of college or, you know, they've been around the block a few times, they participate in a 3-month in-house training program when they come on board, and that gets them up to speed in these emerging technologies such as machine learning and robotic process automation. And that way the whole team is on the same page. They also, Best Places organizations also support education outside, not just in-house training. They typically offer an average of $5,000 per year for technology certification programs, and more than $7,000 per year for executive education programs. So again, that's that soft skills. So hard skills, technology skills, absolutely, they support that. But if people want to pursue business education, executive education, these companies are absolutely willing to support that as well. In terms of, you know, just sort of standout companies that are supporting certifications, National Information Solutions Cooperative, it offers a lifetime cap of $25,000 to pursue technology certifications. So go out and educate yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know what technology certifications cost, but $25,000 is no small chunk of change, and I can see how that would be very appealing to workers who are obviously looking to get ahead. It's interesting too that the whole career development, that the way these companies deal with career development, you know, there are things like mentoring programs. You've got the JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, that invites world-class thinkers in from a variety of fields to talk to workers. You've got Owens Corning, which prides itself on having that sort of flat organizational structure, providing what they call the big jobs approach to give IT employees more responsibility and a chance to grow in the new jobs. It is fascinating how much of this is not focused on the specific task at hand that somebody's working on, but their whole life. Again, that it goes back to that whole holistic idea. Speaking of the idea of giving employees more of a voice in what's going on, what kinds of things have we turned up there?
Well, that's really important to employees. It's one of their top, I don't want to say concerns. It's one of their nice to haves about a job. Something that makes them want to come to work is the ability to have a voice in the business. So, as we know, IT over many years now has been moving from this old, outdated notion of IT keeps the lights on. That's all they do. They're a cost center. Blah blah blah. That's very outdated way of looking at IT, and IT workers know that. They want to be part of the business solutions. They want to drive the business in many ways, and our Best Places organizations absolutely encourage that and support that in many ways. So, for example, at CarGurus, which is a first timer on our list this year, engineers work with product teams to figure out how to solve problems in a startup atmosphere. That gives them a sense of shared purpose and the ability to influence the direction of the company. So, and this is, that's just one example. A lot of these companies really, really support every effort to be engaged. And a lot of these categories kind of cross over. So we talked about teamwork. Well, when you're on a small team that's driving forward a product or a service, or even just supporting internally, you also have a voice. That gives you a voice. You're not just saying, yes, I'll do this one little task. You're looking at the bigger picture and really driving the business forward.
Understood. And of course, obviously, with employees, it's important that companies recognize achievement and recognize employees when they've, gone above and beyond. And that's one of the things, as we sort of wrap this up, that we have found is that companies that do a good job of acknowledging what their employees are doing, rewarding them, calling them out publicly, that's something that those workers really appreciate.
That's absolutely right. And there are so many examples of different rewards and recognition programs. Some companies just do these little spot bonuses for smaller tasks that are not tasks that are completed, but when a project is completed or somebody just goes above and beyond, or a lot of them have peer rewards where you can give somebody a high five, and it's good for a free movie pass or something like that. At Illumina, the CEO presents a quarterly value award to a top performer in front of the whole company. They even make a little video clip and a presentation about why this person is stellar and why they are so highly valued at the company. And they do that 4 times a year, and people really, really appreciate the recognition that they receive, not just in their own department, but in front of the entire company.
Got it. Yeah, and it's interesting to note that for companies that are looking to do awards programs, this doesn't have to be some big expensive thing. It can be something like tickets to the movie, or some small, just an appreciation to let the employee know that that they're valued and that what they're doing is appreciated by the company. Okay, as we sort of I don't want to give everything away, because of course this full report will be on Computer World, and there are many more details and information about all the companies that are on the list. Any final thoughts? As we've watched this whole best places trend change over the years. Any final thoughts on what may be coming down the road, or how things have changed over the last few years based on what we're finding from the companies?
Mostly what we've already talked about, just the continuing trend of, supporting greater work-life balance. More and more companies are doing that, giving IT more of a voice in the company as a whole, supporting their workers in every way. I mean, every year I've worked on this project, which has been many years now, I've just been impressed by the quality of these companies, the care they show their employees, the support they give them, the responsibilities they give them, and that every year it seems like it gets better. So I am just congratulations to the 100 companies who made the list this year, and I encourage, if you have a great place to work in IT, please participate in our survey, and next year we'd love to have you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll be doing this again next year. So if you're not on the list this year, there's always a chance for next year. Val, let me thank you for all the work that you've done on this project. I should also give a shout out to contributing editor Jamie Eckel and Jen Garofalo here from IDG. This is a months-long project that involves a great deal of research and data analysis to come up with our list. So be aware that it's very involved. I think for now we'll just let the work speak for itself when it's online. Val, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And for Best Places in IT 2019, that's a wrap.